Hello and welcome to the Switching to Plan B podcast. I'm Robin.
And I'm Jumbo.
And today we're going to be talking about some of the controversies that have happened over the years in F1.
Tires are okay for Plan B.
So with theories going around that Ferrari and Red Bull have broken the rules by having a flexi floor, I thought we'd look at some of the past controversies and rule breaks. So I thought start with Ferrari Red Bull.
With the flexi floors this year.
With the flexi floors, yep. So that's 2022. Is there anything there, do you think?
I mean, there could be. I don't know how much performance that would make, though, because those two cars, Ferrari and Red Bull, about a second and a half faster than pretty much the rest of the field, aren't they?
Yeah, and I mean, if it's safe to have it, then surely just all the other teams would then...
It's not necessarily a safety thing. It's a bit like, you know, where you have the rear wing, or Red Bull's rear wing, last year was supposedly flexing too much on the straight to make them go quicker down the straight. Mm-hmm. It's more like they're gaining performance as opposed to it not being safe.
Yeah, but that's just the design of their car, isn't it?
Yeah, but you still have regulations that say this can't move this much. So if they're moving too much, they might be getting a bit more performance. A lot of people are saying this is going to shake up, because I think it's supposed to come into effect next weekend, or this current weekend at France, but it's been pushed back to Belgium, I believe, which is the week after, or the next race after, where they have to have the floor within a certain range, essentially. Okay. So if they're doing anything more than that, they then will be penalised. So some people are saying this won't affect the order at all, and other people are saying, well, this means that they may drop back into midfield or close towards Mercedes, Alpine, that sort of area. To answer your question, whether there is anything there, I've got no idea. Christian Horner came out and said there's nothing there.
Yeah. I mean, you would do it though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would, but I don't know. He seemed very, very like, no, there's nothing. We haven't done anything wrong here. So I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if Ferrari may have done something, because this is Ferrari. They have a history of tweaking the rules.
And I think that kind of gives us a good segue to the next part, which is 2007 Spygate.
Ooh, Spygate.
Spygate. So if you don't know, I didn't know, so I did a lot of research on this. Ferrari and McLaren and Renault were being involved. I didn't know that Renault were involved in it.
I did not know Renault were involved. How were Renault involved in it?
That I didn't even look it up.
Oh, right. I didn't know that Renault were involved in this at all. I just know it's Ferrari and McLaren.
Ferrari and McLaren. So someone from Ferrari got fired, or
they were sending some sort of documents. There was leaked
information that was sent to McLaren. I don't know if it's someone that got fired or someone that was still working there. And FIA found that McLaren had all these documents on technical information of the Ferrari car.
But wasn't it, I think it was actually a McLaren employee that saw the information coming from Ferrari. It was either faxed to them or something from Ferrari, and I think it was a McLaren employee that blew the whistle on it. That said, this isn't right, I think.
Right, because what I read was that a McLaren employee got their partner to print loads of copies of this information that they were sent from Ferrari.
Right. That's just weird, though. Does this partner work at a school or something?
No, they went to a printer shop.
They went to a printer shop?
Yeah. You have to think it's 2007.
Yeah, but surely, I assumed that their partner or something. Why has McLaren not got any printers?
Yeah, I don't
2007, they're like an F1 team. They should have printers at this point. So why is
I'm thinking maybe is to not have it within McLaren's site. Oh,
I see what you mean. So they're trying to be sneaky.
Yeah.
So someone's wife has gone to. Let's imagine it's like. We're talking floppy disks? No, floppy disks would have been gone by then. Surely it's got to be USB stick that they've gone.
Yeah, USB stick.
How big was an iPod back then? 2007. It must have been about 4 gig or something.
I only used floppy disks in primary school.
Yeah. So they've got to have it on like a stick. They've gone to a printer shop and gone, can you print this for me?
Yeah.
And the printer shop was called Forza Ferrari, probably.
Yeah, so FIA found the documents within McLaren. I don't know if it was like they did a big search. But so then McLaren got fined 100 million.
Which is a lot. It's a lot back then as well. I think inflation.
And they were disqualified from constructors. There's also a conspiracy theory that McLaren were asked not to win, to lose the championship.
By who?
By whoever was contending.
So you reckon the FIA and Ferrari were like...
I want to say
hang on, I need to put my tinfoil hat here. So I put my tinfoil hat on. So we're saying Ferrari and FIA basically said to... Because you've got to remember, Kimi won the 2007 title by 1 point from Lewis and Alonso, who were both McLaren drivers. There's no way that they orchestrated
that was staged. Yeah, apparently.
No way. To be fair, though, there are rumours going around. I've heard this before, that apparently in Lewis Hamilton's quotes or something, he said that there were reasons he didn't win the title in 2007 with McLaren, but he's not allowed to say why. Apparently there's a quote out there of that.
Oh, right.
So this might not be...
completely crazy.
No. But I don't know. I think that is really hard to like orchestrate, though, isn't it? To win by 1 point.
Yeah, and Alonso was second.
Wasn't he tied with Hamilton, who was second as well? They tied second. Or Lewis, I think, was second. It says
Lewis finished third.
I thought Lewis finished second because he had more race wins, I thought.
Oh, yeah, no, it does say on there. Wikipedia says Lewis came third, but then on Formula One driver standings, Lewis came second.
Oh, I think Lewis came second.
Yeah. I'm going to go with F1 driver standings as the more reliable than Wikipedia.
It's probably all the Lewis haters that have changed that.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
Bless them. Yeah, so that was the first one. Second one also involves Alonso. And
I don't think it was Alonso that went to the printers, though. That would have given it away more, wouldn't it?
No, it wasn't the drivers. The drivers weren't necessarily involved.
Hamilton?
That got his partner to
maybe
print stuff. No,
it was Lewis's mum.
It said a McLaren employee. I don't think that Lewis's dad is a McLaren employee. So we're moving on to the second one. This one's called Crashgate Scandal in 2008. So it's the year after. And I love these Spygate, Crashgate, so I've gone and named all the other ones as well myself.
Watergate.
No, there's no Watergate. Crashgate Scandal, Singapore, 2008.
Renault, yeah.
It's one of those stories that you're just like, is it really? But Alonso pitted early in the race. Yeah. Apparently, they had gambled on having a lighter car, so didn't fuel up for full race fuel.
So they needed a safety car.
They
do normally do that, to be fair, though. Most of the teams run the cars lighter and they'll have to do some sort of fuel-saving measure.
Yeah, we've had that. I think it was this year or last year they said that on the radio to Ricciardo.
I think Sainz even had it at Austria last race, I think.
Yep, so he pitted early. As he was coming out of the pits, his teammate at the time, Nelson Piquet Jr., crashed. Which resulted in a safety car.
We say crashed. It was orchestratedly put it in the wall at the perfect time.
Yeah. It was a bit of a questionable crash, if you say so. All the other cars then kind of pitted at that time, I think.
Well, no, if the safety cars come out, then... See, I don't understand, because normally you get a cheaper stop in the safety car.
Yeah, so it shouldn't... But apparently it worked to Alonso's benefit. And I think he won the race.
Alonso did go on to win, that was the big... Because it was a bit of a shock, because Renault weren't really like a race-winning car.
Right.
It's a bit like... that sort of midfield. It's a bit like almost if Haas just won a race or something. You'd be a bit like, oh, that's a bit funny. I remember everyone going, that was a bit weird, because like the way how Piquet crashed as well was just a bit like, that's a weird place to crash.
Yeah.
But going back to Spygate quickly, if Renault could orchestrate this in terms of they'd already found out, oh, actually, if you crash at this point, yeah, we will then win the race in this scenario or whatever.
Yeah.
Then it does make you think that with Spygate that maybe the FIA and Ferrari and McLaren could have orchestrated a way that they did lose out by 1 point. Does that make sense? Like, you think how much data they've got. If they've just gone, oh, we'll make Lewis and Alonso rubbish in Brazil, and then Kimi will win. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, maybe these aren't out of the realm of possibilities that teams actually know what they're doing, like, crazy well.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past them. But then again, I just feel like it's a little bit strange. Yeah, so apparently for going back to Crashgate now, Piquet was fired the year after.
Yeah.
And came out and said that he was ordered to crash to help Alonso win.
Yep. I think they were paying him quite a lot. I think they basically gave him his seat as in like a return for doing what he did, essentially. I think there's a lot of pressure on him to keep that seat. So they're like, you have to do this or you'll lose your seat sort of thing. It's almost like they were blackmailing him to do it as well.
Okay. That's annoying. I don't think this episode is going to put F1 in a very good, or F1 teams in a very good light.
I mean, they're always up to no something. Good. Yeah. The other thing we've got to remember is that I think Flavio Briatore actually got banned, the team principal banned for life. And I think Pat Simmons got banned for 5 years.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Pat Simmons now works for FIA or FOM, Formula One, basically.
Oh, right.
To make the new cars.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's interesting, isn't it? They're all sort of like this.
To be fair, though, family. Like you learn, he probably won't do it again. Or
I mean, he wasn't exactly old when he was pretty old. What I was going to say, he was old enough to know that what they're doing is wrong. I mean, these are fully grown, like 40-year-old, 50-year-old men. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I know, and I think that they think no one's going to find out, and I think that's the thing. Okay, so now Radiogate. This one.
Have you just put the gate at the end of there?
Yeah, I've put the gate up after all of the other titles. I was
like, Radiogate? I don't remember this one.
Yeah, I just thought I'd follow, because the first two actually have names, the others don't. So I've just named them myself.
Okay.
So this one is where the radio engineer said, Felipe Massa, Fernando is faster than you. Can you confirm you understand the message?
Yeah. We
know that sometimes teams say things that are a little bit coded.
Bono, my tyres have gone. Purple lap.
Yeah. I think it's hammer time is to say push, isn't it? So it's basically the message is to say let your teammate go in front of you.
Yeah.
And the reason I've put it as
Rob Schmedley, that's his name. That was the engineer's name, Massa's engineer. I said to I couldn't remember. I was like, what was his name? Nürburgring, Hockenheim, 2010. It's all just come back to me. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, it's just like I remembered it all
weird
now.
Brain.
Yeah, it was suddenly clocked in. Yeah.
So team orders had actually been banned since 2002 because of Ferrari when they ordered Barrichello to slow down and let Schumacher pass. So it was becoming a bit silly to.
Well, we talked about this was it last week? We talked about this, where the team orders and stuff.
Yeah, so I thought I'd bring this one up again just because it gives a bit more background, and also because we talked about it last week, I think. Why not?
Yeah, that was bad. I said that last week. That was the worst ending to a race I think I've ever seen. Just like orchestrated, this isn't fun. To be honest, I think Abu Dhabi was worse than that.
Yeah, that was worse. But I also think that it would be nice to go back to not being allowed to do that, because as much as teams want to win as a team and they want to do what's best for what they say their first driver, I don't think that should be allowed. You should just drive. You should just race.
I do find it annoying that almost Checo isn't allowed to race Max, which I find is quite annoying.
Yeah. So now it's a sabotage gate.
Sabotage gate?
I couldn't think of a better word.
No, but I'm just trying to think, what on earth is this?
Okay, 2016, Rosberg won the championship.
He didn't sabotage anything though, did he?
No, he didn't sabotage anything. I'm just telling you a fact. However,
I'll tell you what he did sabotage. His and Lewis's friendship. Oh, burn.
Well, apparently, Mercedes orchestrated for Rosberg to win.
No.
Apparently, that's just what's out there.
So this one's a theory. This isn't like
This is
fact.
more of a theory, but apparently Rosberg has said is very clear why he won and why he's not in F1 anymore, which leads to the second part of the allegedly.
Did his wife go to the printers?
No. Apparently, Mercedes asked him to retire after he won. So they said they'll make him a world champion as long as he retires afterwards, right? And then this one is from Reddit, which I know is made up, but it says Mercedes. So apparently they caused some of Hamilton's reliability issues with the engines and things to make sure that Rosberg was ahead.
Right.
But someone has said that since then, apparently Hamilton now has a clause that he has to be number one driver.
That is rubbish. Reddit, I love Reddit. Reddit's
it's
the
so
best,
funny.
It's the best and the worst of the internet. I think that is... We have this discussion with my mates about Reddit all the time because you see some absolutely hilarious and just the best stuff on the internet, and you get some just dreadful, just the worst people on there as well.
On the same section, it said that because of that, Mercedes also made sure that Russell didn't win last year in Sakir. No, not last year, in 2020, yeah.
What were the tyres?
Because that would be an embarrassment to Hamilton. And apparently there's a clause now in Hamilton's contract that no one that's good is going to drive his car. And that's why Mercedes has 3 test drivers.
Oh, that's a lot to digest.
That is a lot to digest.
That also is ridiculous.
Can you just imagine someone sitting there thinking about this?
But also what I don't get is, right, if you're Lewis Hamilton, right, you're statistically the greatest of all time. Like, you've got ridiculous records. You're absolutely rapid as a driver. How fragile do people think his ego is that he's like, no one can beat me
in my own car?
Yeah, I was a bit like, I'm sorry, I don't buy that. Like, I just think, and also Russell. Oh no, Russell hasn't done well recently though, is it? Lewis has got 3 points. Maybe it's true.
In his own car, not in Russell's car.
So that's why Russell's feet couldn't fit in it as well, because he had to wear small shoes, didn't he? Do you remember at Sakir?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so he had to get smaller shoes because his feet wouldn't fit in the pedal box.
Right.
Because Lewis is quite small compared to George. There's that picture where they're walking down the pit lane for like the PR stuff, and George looks like a giant. I mean, George is quite tall. I think he's like 6'2" or something. But Lewis isn't a tall man, is he?
No.
I just think that is a bit of a reach for me, that one.
I just thought it was too funny that I needed to add it in.
The Rosberg one is interesting, but I still feel like for Rosberg, right? If you've managed to beat Hamilton, which is not many people do, and it's a bit of a fight to beat Hamilton. Like, they're always like, you have to be on your game. He probably thought, I can't beat him again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've done it now. I've done it. Like, what? I can't do it again, surely.
Yeah, but then it's also interesting that he's around the sport so much. He's a pundit and he's got a YouTube channel about it and all this stuff. Like, he's obviously wasn't actually ready to give up.
But I feel like a lot of people, if people listen to like the Peter Crouch podcast, he's always saying on there, he misses the day-to-day life of being a footballer. So I reckon because that's what they live and breathe for so long, you would miss that to a certain extent.
And I mean, but there's also like Bottas obviously realised that he couldn't beat Hamilton.
Oh, it was in his contract, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's why he's moved.
Yeah.
But he's still driving, even if it's not a great
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Team.
It's not a team that's going to be challenging for wins. You wouldn't
didn't
think.
necessarily need to retire. I don't know. And you've also got like Alonso who's come back.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you would. You'd miss it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd want to come back.
Okay, this one I've called Engine Gate.
Dun, 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 dun.
Which is Ferrari's illegal engine.
Or theorised illegal engine, because the FIA have still not disclosed that information, and they probably never will.
Yeah, that's why it's on here. So did you understand what the illegal engine?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to explain it?
So in theory, quotation marks, they were fiddling with their fuel flow regulator. So basically, the more fuel you've got in that gets into the combustion chamber, the bigger the bang, the more power you have.
Okay.
What FIA do is they regulate how much fuel you can get in there through this fuel flow meter. So what they think they were doing is that they were managing to bypass that meter somehow and get extra fuel into the chambers that then went bang, which gave them more power, which is why they were stupidly fast in 2019, was it?
2019, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what they thought they were doing. And then obviously there's some sort of weird agreement between the FIA and Ferrari that they've sort of found the loophole and then they've gone, this is the loophole. And then they've sort of patched it, but we won't be penalised for it. That was initially my understanding of it. Okay.
Because, again, on Reddit,
oh gosh, yeah,
people believe, or someone believes, that Ferrari...
So I feel like if we ever do this again, we should get the usernames of these people because it'll be interesting to see what they're actually called. Does that make sense? Because if it's like, I don't know, Mattia Binotto is a legend or something, or like Mattia Binotto is a clown. This one could have been.
They do also have which team or driver you support.
That. Yeah,
it's quite cool.
Yeah.
I'll do that for next time.
Just because it'd be funny, because as long as they're not inappropriate, because some of the usernames are borderline. That's a little bit. Out there.
Let's not say those. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Or let's just not use those people's opinions. But their theory is that the penalty that we don't really know about is that in 2020 they had to restrict their fuel flow.
Okay,
as
which
a
makes
penalty.
Sense. So more than the other teams.
More than the other teams, so that they weren't allowed to be good.
Okay.
Knowing this, again allegedly, Ferrari knew they weren't going to be competing for the championship and decided to spend time to develop their 2022 car instead. Although I'm not sure they're legally allowed to do that.
Yeah,
they are allowed to do that.
Oh no, because you weren't allowed to start working on it from a certain point, because of delays and stuff. But if you look at the back end of the 21 season, their car got really quick towards the end of that.
Yeah,
I could see that in terms of their performance drop off, that they were like penalised a little bit.
Yeah.
Because one of the big problems that Red Bull were complaining about is that Ferrari came second in the championship, the constructors, so they got a lot of money for coming second. And Red Bull were like, well, no, we should have come second because Ferrari were cheating. So I wonder if they've gone, look, you can't do well in 2020. So they've gone, we'll reduce you down so you come like 6th or something, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll get loads of wind tunnel time and all of that stuff to get back up there, but you just got to take a hit this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't think it's out the realms of the possibility. This is also, we're still with my tinfoil hat, that they've orchestrated that Kimi will win by a point.
Yeah.
In 2007.
Exactly. So you don't know how much.
We also don't know how pally they are. I'm trying to think, was it be Michael Massey at this point? Probably.
2020, yeah.
So they're probably nice and pally. He was
not
very
2019 though.
Trying to think, when did Charlie... When was it? Yeah, I think it was. I think 2019. I think it was Charlie Whiting passed away at the Australian Grand Prix beginning of the season. I think it was 2019. I might have got that wrong.
Okay.
Also, speaking of Michael Massey, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not checking fireproof pants, and he's gone. He's like, I'm not doing that job.
No, I wouldn't want to either. To be fair.
I think that's the worst job. Who goes around checking? Oh, Alex, have you got your pants on? Yeah. Do you see what I mean? Like, you don't want them, do you?
That's not really what his job was.
No, we're just speculating.
Yeah. Along with the rest
of this whole episode, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was everything for my...
I mean, there's loads. We could have done loads. I think this is a nice little
And I chose not to bring up anything from last year because I feel like people are still a bit...
it's all just carried over into this year as well.
Yeah.
I still feel like people are very angry about this still.
Yeah.
I think the drivers have kind of moved on. I feel like the two that haven't really is Toto and Christian Horner.
Yeah, but they're not drivers. And also, I kind of feel like I think they both lost respect for each other, and so that's going to take a little while to get over.
Tires are okay for Plan B.
We've got a question from Brad again.
Hello, Brad.
It's like I was checking when Brad would send us our question this week because I think it was a bit more delayed than normal. I was like, oh no question from Brad.
Yeah, he's good. He always gets a good question.
He does get a good question. It gives us a topic to talk about over lunch.
It does, yeah.
So this week's question is about sponsorship deals. Sponsorship deals are obviously extremely important in the world of Formula One, and at times can be controversial. I wanted to stop there because it's come out that
Aston Martin. Yeah. Well, they've sold 16% of the company to the Prince of Saudi Arabia, who basically owns Aramco, as far as I can work out.
Yes, and Aramco is one of the bigger sponsors of F1, isn't it? Because it's pretty much everywhere. And of Aston
Martin as well, it's on the rear wing.
And of Aston Martin. But the point is that it's a little bit controversial because it's an F1 sponsorship as well as Aston Martin.
I hadn't even put that together. Obviously, whatever the money they're giving F1 to try and make Aston Martin better, obviously clearly isn't working at the moment, is it?
Not yet, no. But it's also a bit controversial in a sense where we've got they're from Middle East, and their human rights, let's say, aren't the same as we have here. And Seb always makes quite a big statement.
Yeah, with like pride and all of that sort of stuff.
Exactly. So it'd be interesting to see what Seb's take on it is, because I'm not sure he'd be that big a fan.
Well, I always think about this. He's often thrown out there as a hypocrite because he's driving F1 cars, which obviously aren't, like, you're not helping the economy doing that. You're flying around the world, you're doing all this. So he comes across as, a lot of people think that he is a hypocrite. I tend to disagree with that. I think that he's similar to Lewis. They're trying to do something with the platform they've got. They like cars. And, I even saw when he drove Mansell's Williams, the W14B, they used biofuel in it and it worked.
Okay.
So it was like they're trying to do stuff. The problem I have with this deal going through is it goes against a lot of what Seb stands for, to the point where he's being paid now by people that pump. They're the world's biggest company at the moment, Aramco, and they're oil and energy based, and they're pumping a crap load of crap basically into the world, heating it up, which goes against all his helmet designs and stuff like that, goes against the bees and all that. You mentioned about human rights and stuff.
Yeah.
Are they going to let him have a pride helmet now because he drives for Aston Martin, a Saudi-based team? Do you see what I mean? There's a lot of things where I'm like, he might look at that and go, do you know what? I don't want a paycheck from that team now.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting to see.
Yeah. So that's just the latest controversial, I think, sponsorship that we've kind of seen.
Yeah.
But back to Brad's question. As a team owner, what sponsorship deals would you pursue for your team? Brad's saying that I wonder if partnering with someone like SpaceX or NASA would not only bring some solid funding, but also potential engineering expertise, especially with aerodynamics.
Yeah, that's cool. And also, delivery would be amazing, wouldn't it? Like, imagine like NASA. The space or galaxy, or even like a spaceship-based livery. And you could have like the astronaut race suits and stuff like that.
But like a Haas and NASA car, that would be like that white, would look good. Red and blue, isn't it?
Yeah.
NASA logo, sort of.
Yeah.
That'd look really cool.
That would look good, actually.
I think when we were talking about this, we were mainly coming from the sense of what would the car look like?
Yeah, because I always thought this, right? The best looking cars were always the companies that weren't very good for you. So like Marlboro cigarettes, iconic McLaren livery. JPS Lotus, again, cigarettes, not very good for you, but really good looking livery.
Yeah.
There's loads of brands where they're like, these are cool liveries, but they're not very good for the world or for you as a person.
Yeah.
But their branding is on point. So what we need something that is like a good product that's going to help the world or whatever we believe in. And it just needs to have good branding. And then I think people are like, do you know what, that's cool. I'm going to rock that.
Yeah. Yeah, but we didn't really get to any companies.
I struggle with this. The only one that I kind of thought of was where the cars are so stiff at the moment. Maybe get like something like Bilstein shock absorbers or suspension. And that looks quite good. That's yellow and blue. And that's quite a nice sort of, maybe get IKEA on the sponsorship as well. That would go in nice with that. And you can have a yellow and blue car. And you can also get good shock absorbers so they wouldn't be as stiff. The drivers wouldn't be complaining about porpoising so much.
What exactly would IKEA bring to the table?
Well, the cars, they like flat pack, don't they? So they ship them out.
Right. Yeah, no, that's quite...
I think that'd be good. It's good advertisement.
Yeah.
The only thing is that you might get like a dowel joint stuck in like the diffuser or something, which is...
Those dowel joints are a nightmare, aren't they?
Do you know what? I sold furniture once, IKEA furniture, and I got all the dowel joints still in it. And I sold it on like Gumtree or something. This guy came over and I said, oh, sorry, all the dowel joints are in it. I went back upstairs in the flat to get the rest of it. Came down. He pulled them all out.
That's crazy.
I know. I was looking at him like, how did you do that? And he went, oh, I just got my pliers on it and just pulled it.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, my mum uses pliers.
But what I was going to say, whenever I've used pliers on dowel joints, they just break. And I'm like, oh, no, I've got to drill it out. So I don't know how he did it. He's obviously got like...
IKEA ties.
I think he was like a heart surgeon or something. Must have been just always really good at that. Was it?
Maybe he was Swedish.
Operation game, where you can't hit the buzzers as you his nose goes off. I don't know. I was amazed by it. Just couldn't believe it. Anyway, I don't really have like a good team. I just thought something. Lazy Boy was the other suggestion I was thinking of.
Yeah.
After you've had a rough ride in that car, you could then have a Lazy Boy, just go and chill on a Lazy Boy whilst you're doing like the Pen, where they're having all their interviews.
Yeah. What was my idea? I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't in your brain.
No, but I told you earlier.
Did you? Yeah. It can't have been that good because you can't even remember it.
Oh. I should have written it down, really. I can't remember. My other thought also was that a lot of the teams give back charities, and they have different things that they do, like Seb with his bees and stuff. And there are others, but we don't really see them anywhere on the cars. It's something that you can go get behind. You can be like, oh, really like
charities and stuff.
Yeah. Just that because, for example, McLaren have Mind.
Yeah.
It's really nice that they do that. So it'd be nice to see a bit more of that sort of thing with all the other cars.
The other one I was thinking is that Williams don't really have like a main sponsor at the moment. So part of me is like, why don't they? I know they're trying to reduce weight, so they don't want to just slap a sticker on there for the sake of it, but put something like UNICEF on there or something. Do you see what I mean? Like that's good. Sometimes I feel like if you've got space there, just chuck something useful on it for that. Or do you see what I mean? Like,
yeah. Oh, I remember what my idea was.
Yeah.
The car company, Rivian.
Rivian, yeah.
They make like...
it's a pickup truck, an EV pickup truck, so electric pickup truck.
Yeah, but it's big, so you can like sleep in it and you can
camp on it.
With it. And we've seen, I think it's American based, but we've seen like, especially in Austria, where you had all the tents and stuff.
Yeah, you could just use one of those, couldn't you?
You could just use one of those. So if you are sponsoring, if that company is sponsoring, they'll probably get a lot out of it. Not sure what.
So you could rent a Rivian vehicle for the weekend or something. That'd be good because they produce so much. They have so much energy stored, like a battery that you can use.
They're
like
electric
hobs
cars
and all of that stuff. Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah. Not sure what the F1 team would get out of it, but...
reduces their emissions. Imagine if they were sort of driving in on those, is getting to and from the track in those electric vehicles. It just sort of does that.
Yeah, true.
Would it not be something more for Formula E than Formula 1?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Should we do fantasy rundown?
We can do. I hate fantasy, basically, because anything I do, it just goes wrong. So yeah. Anyway, looking at the standings, we haven't done this for a little while. So Ben is still at the top with Fato Wolf. Dexo is closing in though, 109 points behind Ben. I've moved up to third. I'm very smug at the moment. I'm on 2,000 points now, which is pretty good. Eddie's dropped down to P4, but is very close behind me, only like 40 points behind. Giuliano is in P7, a couple of hundred behind Eddie. Robin, you're still P6. You're going strong.
Solid, yeah.
You're going
I'm
strong.
Consistent.
Yeah, like George Russell.
Exactly.
And then we've got Brad, who obviously started later on, very close to Robin, only a couple of hundred behind you. We've got Ross, far from top, Rari in P8. And then we've got another new entry, Team 1 by Lolo, who is a couple of hundred points behind Ross. So be interesting to see how that goes for the rest of the season. If you do want to join the Fantasy League, we don't take it seriously at all.
No.
We just try and see how well we can do, basically, and it tends to go terribly wrong. But if you do want to join, there is a code to join that league in the description for you.
Yep. Okay, so last part.
Winner, loser, surprise.
Yeah.
For France. Vive la France.
Paul Ricard.
A lot of rumours going around, though, that it's not going to be Paul Ricard that goes. It's going to be Spa that goes.
Yes, I've heard that too.
That is a joke. Do they know how bad Paul Ricard is compared to Spa?
Do they know how good Spa is?
I know, it's madness.
It is madness.
And bear in mind, Spa has just like redone a lot of their track as well.
Do you reckon it's because of last year's race?
I reckon there's a conspiracy theory going on here.
Yeah. Maybe we'll need another episode.
I reckon the French were like, we might lose our race here. So what we're going to do is we're going to send our yearly rain to Spa for 2021, wash it out. They'll get in loads of trouble. Then they won't renew it and we'll keep our track. That's it.
Oh, I thought you had a good conspiracy theory, not like a...
Well, what else could we say?
Sending rain.
But the FIA is French.
Yeah, that could be more like it.
We don't have Belgian drivers, but we have quite a few French drivers.
Oh, but so many people go to Belgium.
Spa is the best one.
The only problem with Spa is that it's very close to the Netherlands.
What's wrong with the Netherlands?
Orange Army.
Ah, the flares.
Are we even going to see the track if we go?
Yeah, this is true, the flares. I quite like them. I like the atmosphere of them, I think that they need to be done in a certain way. I saw some people were chucking them onto the track as well at Austria, and I thought, that's not really on, is it? Like,
no, I don't think they got onto the track though. But it's more.
No, they were throwing them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but the flares themselves didn't actually get on the track. But I don't. Yeah, I just wonder because I saw on some things on Instagram where people are like, this is the view, and you can't actually see the track.
Yeah, you're paying all that money.
Yeah, to just be in orange smoke. I don't think I'd want to do that.
Also, it can't be good for your lungs, all that smoke, can it?
But if they want to do that afterwards as a celebration, I think that's cool.
I think what they'll have to start doing is like, when you go to like a football game or something, you get almost like I was going to say strip search, not strip search, but they pat you down.
Pat you down like
check you
like in the airport.
Haven't got any knives or anything.
Yeah.
I think they might have to start doing that with the F1. They're going to have to do something because you can't, because you say people are paying money to go and see it and you can't even see the start of the race.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
Anyway, we were talking about Spa loads and we're supposed to be talking about Paul Ricard, but I don't really like Paul Ricard. I like Spa. Paul Ricard, I feel like, do you know the best bit about Paul Ricard is the gorilla statue and the trophies?
Okay.
That is really cool. I like that. I don't like the pit lane. I think the pit lane is way too tight, way too bumholy. Like, it's just so tight and cramped in there. It's not safe. You watch, there's going to be a big accident in the pit lane now, and everyone will be like, see? Do you know what I said?
Yeah.
Said
no one.
It doesn't have anything that I go, oh, Paul Ricard's great circuit. The runoff roads, the runoff areas are massive. I don't know, the track I don't think is a great track. Maybe if it didn't have big runoff areas, maybe it would be a better track. The only other thing that's cool about Paul Ricard's is that the airport's right there.
I don't remember any of the races, to be fair. Last year we missed it.
We did miss Paul, and that was the best one, apparently. That was really good.
Yeah.
And, it's classic. I've never looked at Paul Ricard and gone, oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Was it on 2020?
I don't think it was, actually, was it?
It was a bit of a weird year, wasn't it?
It was a weird year.
So it's 19, trying to think what it was like in 19. I don't remember it.
I'll be well disappointed if Paul Ricard stays.
Yeah.
Even if it's a banging race this weekend, as people say, no. It's just no.
It's about how much money they give, though, isn't it? That must be it.
But how many fun memories Spa gives?
You tell that to the FIA.
I will.
Okay, so winner for next week.
I've gone boring. It's Max. That Red Bull is going to be so fast.
I've gone a bit more interesting. What if we see Mercedes do well this weekend?
No.
Why not?
I just don't.
Every time on the podium last week.
Yeah, but that was fluky because Carlos's engine just blew up. And Checo
had a bad race.
He had a baguette.
So I'm still saying Hamilton though. Because I have to say someone.
Why not Russell?
All right, I'll change it to Russell.
Just that you said Hamilton last week.
Did I? Do you know, though, I would like to see how far he can get with how many championships. That's the main reason for trying.
Yeah, I've always said I think 10. He's aiming for double digits.
10? That's ridiculous.
To be honest, though, you look at Alonso, how far he's gone, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. If Mercedes can give Hamilton a half competitive car, I think he could be in there. I think Max will have a big say in that.
Yeah.
As will Leclerc, I think. And even Russell. If that Mercedes does get competitive, I think Russell will push him a long way. But I think in Lewis's mind, he at least wants 8 to be the outright statistically greatest.
And I mean, I find it a bit boring when there's one team dominating.
Yeah.
So I don't want that to happen. But at the same time, part of me just wants to see
you want to witness history, don't you? You want to see how crazy people can get.
Lewis gets. So I'll change it to Russell for this week. Why not? Then loser, we've gone quite similar.
Yeah, I've gone Alpine.
Yeah.
Because my theory is that when it's your home race, everything goes wrong, which doesn't work. But I've gone with Alpine. I'm going to put out there a double DNF.
Oh.
Double DNF. I think Alonso's going to have an engine problem where he's going to be like P4 or P5 and it's just going to splutter. I think Esteban might get in a turn 1 incident.
Yeah, okay. Trying to prove himself too much.
No, I just think he might not have a great qualifying.
Okay.
He might be, maybe he doesn't get into Q3 and then he's just in the middle where it all kicks off and just kind of gets damaged. Might get a baguette in the side of his side pod or something like that.
It doesn't happen often to get baguettes.
Alonso had he didn't have a baguette, did he? He had like a massive hole. Inside
but that was because of someone else crashed.
Yeah.
I went with Alonso. He's had quite bad luck recently. Every race seems to be he should have been doing better, but he hasn't. So it makes sense to have him down there. I'm not sure how bad he's going to do. It could just be like out of points, which is quite bad for Alpine, seeing as they are kind of the 4th best car.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But we'll see.
So Alpine and Alonso the losers. Surprise. I went with Williams.
Yeah.
Both of them in the points.
Woo.
Did Latifi have the upgrades? I don't remember if Latifi had the upgrades or not, but I just feel like those upgrades, everyone's sort of going, they might do a bit of damage to the other teams here because it did look quite quick. I don't think we've seen the full potential of it yet.
No.
So part of me's like, this is the weekend, everyone. Williams, a double point scorer.
I think that's quite nice. That would be quite nice.
I love Williams, so I'd like to see that happen.
Okay. I've gone with Gaz podium.
I think that's...
I know, but bless him. He's had such a tough year.
He has. I don't think he looks... You know how we were saying that, confidence builds and stuff like that with like Mick and all these other drivers. I kind of feel like it goes the other way as well, where I feel Gasly... part of me is a bit like Gasly, maybe he's a little bit bored of AlphaTauri as well. I think that maybe he's thinking, I'm never going to get in a top team. I think maybe he just seems a little bit...
disheartened.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I do feel like he needs to get out of
Red Bull and just in general.
Kind of, what is it called that? I was going to say bubble. It's not a bubble.
Prison.
No, because they obviously have drivers that they like.
Yeah.
And like, if they like you, you're going to do well there.
Oh, yeah.
But they obviously, or at least like, I don't feel like Christian Horner and Helmut Marko like Gasly.
No, if Checo ever doesn't race for Red Bull for whatever reason, it was going to be Albon that steps back into that car. Gasly won't get there.
Or someone completely different.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Gasly just sort of needs to move away into another team.
I thought he might go to McLaren. I mean, it's come out this week that Ricciardo's basically said all these rumours were rubbish. He wasn't going to go anywhere. I think he had the option anyway, so it's his decision. And there wasn't a better seat for him to go to anyway. So, but I think he would be quite good at McLaren. I don't know, I think that could suit him quite well, Gasly.
Yeah. But yeah, Gasly on podium, we'll see.
Be interesting. I would quite like to see it, to be fair.
It has to be a surprise.
That would be a surprise, yeah.
And that would be a surprise. If I say, Russell on podium, yeah, that could happen.
A Russell win would be quite a surprise, which is what you've gone for.
Oh, yeah. I have. Okay, but Even if Russell gets podium, I think that should still be a win.
Okay. No, but sure. Yes, that's next week, the French Grand Prix. We'll see if any of our predictions are right. I'm going to go with no. I think we do this a lot. And
the only one, I think, maybe Alonso being the loser.
I think it'll be interesting to see this race. I'm not expecting much. I'm going in with it's not going to be great. And if it's good, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
But that is next weekend. Enjoy that. Have a good week, everyone.
Yes.
Also, I forgot to say, but if you want to join us on Instagram, you can leave questions on there or on YouTube, as people do. So if you've got questions, they're a good place to get them. And you can also listen to us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, as well as YouTube.
Isn't it called Apple Podcast?
I've no idea. It might be.
Oh. Apple something.
Apple something. Apple strudel.
That's nice.
Anyway, have a good week, everyone, and we will see you in the next episode. Take care.
See ya.
Tires are okay for plan B.